So I got it. Okay. The thing is, I've always had difficulty with Skype, I guess, because one time I tried it, and I always think of Skype as primarily for audio, but not for video. But I have to figure it out whether I can even. Zoom is pretty easy to use, actually.
I agree. Yes, I agree. So I don't know. Maybe it's even my computer. My machine, my Apple computer had been running extremely slowly lately. And I don't know, Jay. I feel like the universe is trying to slow me down. I feel like
so let's talk about it. So what's going on? So we haven't talked now for 2 weeks. We've been exchanging some email. So why don't you just give me an update on where you are, and what's your top priority, so that you're, remember the word, focus.
This 1st of March we have to launch. So the 1st of March we have to launch the website and the Kickstarter campaign. So the most recent priority will be they are filming the video in Minsk in Belarus. The musician partner of mine, the guy who's leading all the creative part, he's also a guitarist and a singer as well. So he got together with his videographer, and he brought a bunch of people. So they will be doing 3 videos, a video of a kid playing alone at home. It will be, the audience, like 12, 15 years old. It will be someone in the studio, and it will be people in the band. So it will be, different use cases. And because it's happening in Belarus, what they suggest we do, they suggest that we show people using the product, but we do voiceovers. We do voiceovers because voiceover is inexpensive the way for us to film there, and then just add. So for right now, we need to come out with a list of voiceovers. But as far as the scenario, we still discussing that. But I guess what they're gonna film on Monday, it will be people using the product and people being happy when they're using the product. And so they're going to record a bunch of that in the videos, bunch of that in the pictures. So I think we're going to have all the content that we need for the Instagram, for the social media. And now we will try to create the story for Kickstarter. Now for the Kickstarter story, we're not settled with what we're going to ask, what are we going to sell. So obviously this is my product number one. That the amount for the feed that we have. So I do suggest that we sell maybe those mounts for $10. Let's say the first 500 mounts. So it's like early bid special. It's indeed a pure cheap, inexpensive cost. And then, I don't know, the standard price, it seems like people in America leaning towards $15 to $20. $15 to $20 is the retail price.
Like $19.99 would be a good price to come in.
I'm thinking what I can do. I can cheat the system. Kickstarter does allow me to sell the products, but you can only sell the products that you only sell on Kickstarter. You're not allowed to sell them anywhere else.
Oh, I see.
So I'm thinking I can do a limited number of these mounts and then sell another limited amount of these mounts for $15 until we reach $30,000. So this is how we get to the minimum, $30,000 that we need to close. But after that, I don't know. I'm thinking we could put these things off Kickstarter and sell them on Amazon and eBay. Just like another or maybe like directly through the website, or I don't know, some platform. And then and another thing would be to start selling some hardware. It would be either a clip that is a hardware that you can chip on your head, or something like a watch. I found this company. I found a few more competitors last few weeks. Every time I find someone, my heart is like, oh my gosh. But then I'm realizing, we have a pretty decent product already. We're gonna have some market fit will be there.
Right. I mean, competition just means that's good that there are a lot of people doing it. You just need to figure out how do you penetrate. You have to have something uniqueness that you're providing that the others are not providing, and then get that message out to the people in a way that really resonates.
Yes, we have that. And then the plan would be after that, the plan would be to build all the features that competition have as their as their main business strategy, but then we can just add it as our feature.
My suggestion is keep it very simple, because if you start adding features, that's what you think the customers want, until the customers really saying that, I would use it more if you had this feature, I would not add any more features.
No,
Because
I hear, and I don't have any more money to pay for those features, so I'm not talking about those features.
okay. Because right now you
But
just
yeah,
want a simple product up and running, and then just observe. Because then once you start adding a lot of features, you're going into that, like Excel and all these programs. There's so many things in it. Most people don't use all those features. They just want to get simple Excel spreadsheet up and running, Google Docs or Google, I don't know, slide sheet or whatever they call it. And because that would cover pretty much 90% of your customers.
No, I hear you. Keep it simple. You're so right. I'm already envisioning it in my head how we're gonna keep everything simple. I understand it.
Yeah. No, I mean, just say, keep asking yourself. Remember, your real boss are the customers. They're your boss. Listen to what they're saying. Observe how they're using the product, and see what they feel. And that's
I had a couple challenges, past week. Somehow our Twitter account got suspended, so I got that unsuspended.
How did that happen? How did
it happen? But I just wanted to, but I'm just telling you, those are all of the things that happening. It seems like the world is trying to stop me. The studio I booked, it turned out to be a pretty crappy studio, so I rebooked, got the different studio. I was told that they would have a videographer in the studio. So the guy who's an owner, he told me that I'm renting the studio with a person and he's a videographer. So I haven't brought my videographer, but I brought all the actors, and I brought the camera guy. And so we did a shooting, but it appeared that nobody was there to film the videos. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, it kind of, ended up to be my problem. And I guess I should have controlled it. I should have double checked. But, I mean, they told me up front that I'm getting in the room with videographers. So I assumed that I'm getting, and he was an audiographer. So he could record the audio recording of me, but not the video.
Oh.
So it was a little bit disappointing.
Was that here or in Belarus? Where was that?
No, it was here. It was last Sunday. Last Sunday I was here in my room.
So you didn't get any video. Oh, that sucks. So
Jay, right now the only thing that I don't know what to do about is my Kickstarter. I don't even know what to put what to put out there. I know that we're filming some video. I know we need to come out with some script for the video, and on the Kickstarter, I know that the goal is to sell this mounts, and people saying that shoot for $50. So try to add the product worth of $50. So it could be a shirt, it could be a hat, some just like a shirt and a mount, and it could be $50. And this what
Did you see one of the email that I sent? Because this would make a good looking hat. I basically said that one of the logo that you could use is, you have notes, and at the bottom of the notes, you could have like each note stamping, like, what I'm saying? Like, you have these notes, and these would be, you put a shoe or something on and it would be stamping, and that would be kind of like a logo. I don't know if you can make a stamp by out of it, but that could be like a idea for a logo that you could use. That would kind of look cool. Rather than just saying stamp by, you can just have like a notes. Each note could have, like, depending on how many notes you want to use, you could have like a shoe here, and they would be stamping and producing music, something like that.
I love it.
That would look like that's what stamp by is, that you're stamping and producing notes, music. That's an idea I just came up with. I thought I'll just share it with you. That you probably have some other ideas, but I said, let me just get your mind thinking about, because logo is going to be important here. Have you thought about a logo yet? You don't have a logo right now, right?
No, we do have a logo. I hired a branding designer. So everything we have went through the guy who created our branding design. He's like a award-winning person. Like he got it from Microsoft.
Oh, that thing on the left, that's the logo, but you don't have it yet, right?
So if you go to Stampai,
the website I'm looking at, that thing on the left, that's the logo.
Yeah, so that's and he explained that. He explained why the name has to be the logo. He explained
Oh.
that nobody knows, and he explained that from the branding
Oh,
perspective.
okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's fine. I just so you're gonna keep the word stamp by like that.
Hmm.
Right.
But
Well,
I like this
you
concept
could still
about
have
code.
the notes if you want, and uh, yeah, have them give you several options to consider. So that because that's what these when I had my logo, they gave me like so many different. I gave them idea, and then they gave me all these options to consider. So that way you have something to choose, and then you can test it out with what other people think, and then pick the one that. I mean, obviously it's your decision, but see what other people think. Is this conveying the message of what my company is all about?
Yeah, no, we have to do something. And and another thing I'm thinking that I need to write a couple stories. I think I need to write some stories for reporters. What do you think? I think I need to write some stories for reporters.
Right. Uh, but you already have your own bio, right? That you already finished that, right?
Uh,
Because what you should do is, okay, here's what we'll do. We could do like an interview, and I'll put it on my website. I'll ask you, so you're an entrepreneur. So I'm going to ask you, typically what I do is, like if somebody writes a book or something, we'll try this out, okay?
mhm.
And when somebody writes a book out, I just contact them and saying, hey, by the way, would you be open? I like your book, and would you be open to answering 5 questions? And then I send them the 5 questions. Most of them say yes. Some of them, the ones that reply, they never have any problem with it. And then I send them the 5 questions, and then I put it on my website. So,
Mhm.
I can interview like you're the entrepreneur, and then I'll ask you these 5 questions, and you can then reply. So let's do that.
Okay.
So I will send you these 5 questions, and then you'll see. I'll send you the link of just I did recently some guy who wrote a book about using stories when you're selling. So I just contacted him, said, "Hey, I read your book. I really liked it, but I still have some questions. If you would be open to it, I can send you 5 questions, and then I can post it as a blog on my website and share it." And he said, "Sure." And immediately, guy replied it right away. He's in Australia, and he replied it right away. I said,
Yeah.
I've never gotten a response that quickly. And he was pretty happy with it. He said, nobody's asked me these type of questions. So what I can do is, based on that book, some of the ideas that I have, I can ask you this question and you can take a shot at it. And then
You,
I'll put it on my website.
I like what you just said, but I'm also hearing that I can use that as my lead generation for me. I can reach out to some bloggers who done something in the space, and I can just tell them that I really like what you did. What do you think? I don't know. I'm just trying to think how can I apply that to a network and just get to people.
Oh, okay. So who you want to target? You got to ask them like, there's something you're doing for them that doesn't cost them anything.
I mean, I do believe that the product is newsworthy, and I'm sorry, I just gotta check that.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, so who would be the people? So you could create an entrepreneurial story. So that's why I'm saying there are 2 stories here. One is the
Mm.
entrepreneurial story. That's why I was saying that your bio is very important. Like somebody may just say, hey, we would like to. That's why I want to start with these 5 questions so you get experience on how to answer these questions. You have thought about it. Because
Hmm.
and then you can reach out to bloggers. You could reach out to podcasters. There's so many podcasts out there. Have you looked into any podcasts that focus on people musical products, or somebody in the who invite musical entrepreneurs and stuff like that? Because
No, I did. I think
there's so many podcasters out there. And then as you get higher and higher, once the product starts gaining traction, then you can contact different podcasters.
mm-hmm.
And because remember,
I'm hearing you. I'm right here. I'm in just having same role. I was just
yeah,
gonna.
the thing to remember is your toughest part right now
Uh-huh.
is that marketing is going to be the real push, because if people don't
Sure.
know you and they don't know your product, then how would they be able to use it? They won't buy it. So any opportunity you get to market your product, like you're going to Minsk and at the airport, everybody you talk to, you should bring attention to Stampaio and have the product handy and just get the message out any way you can. You got to use guerrilla tactic here because you don't have a lot of funding to do sophisticated marketing. So like when you, yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna spend. I mean, I allocated a couple $1,000 for advertisement.
Yeah, but advertisement, be careful because I do a lot of advertising. It never works for me. The best marketing for me is when I get in front of people and give a talk. So yes. You are the best. You are your own marketer. Okay.
Well, speaking of that, Jay. So tomorrow is Saturday. My biggest thing tomorrow is I'm gonna go to a speech competition at Toastmasters.
Oh,
and I'm gonna sing them the song. I'm not gonna be doing a speech. I'm just gonna sing them the song in front of the people, maybe with a Stampai.
Oh, so you're gonna give them like it'll be like a show and tell type of thing?
Yeah, and already I have a guitar.
So you wanna how long is it? 5 minutes?
You know, I'm not going to be winning the competition.
Oh no, you got to go in to win it. So.
No. The thing is, I won't be here. I'm flying away from Minneapolis on March 4th, and I won't be back till March 14th because I told you I'm flying to Minsk, and then from there I'm flying. So if I win, they gotta send me to the next one, and I'm not going to be able to. I mean, I can still win it at the club, but I'm not going to be able to go any further.
Oh, so this is a competition.
Okay, so I've been practicing the song all the day yesterday, and it's going pretty well. So I just need to be able to feel comfortable singing in front of many people. So
just go ahead. What's the worst that can happen? You won't win. That's the worst that can happen. But at least look, anytime you do something, I mean, you're learning a lot. You're learning how to create a product, how to market the product. I mean, this is it's like getting an MBA. It's more than an MBA. It's a real MBA. You know, MBA is just taking courses where you just pay the money to take courses, and then hopefully somebody will hire you so you can apply it. And a lot of times you won't apply what you're learning. Here, you got to kind of learn fast, quickly. You got to learn dynamically, and it's hard. That's why entrepreneurial is like the hardest job in the world because you find out how quickly you're failing. In other cases, you don't, and then it's too late, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you try a marketing campaign and you'll know immediately whether it's working or not. That's why you have to constantly adjust quickly. You're flying, but you got to stay in the air. There's all that fuel, but if you don't course correct quickly, you could be off by a lot, and then you can't recover. You'll completely miss your destination.
So speaking of the airports, what do you think my best approach there would be? I was thinking I could either ask someone just to record me singing the song and using my phone as a stomp device, to play drum machine, and just ask them to hashtag that on Twitter or Instagram saying Stampai Rocks or something.
Can you use Stampai that brings attention without making noise? Is that possible or not? Like, could you put like headset earplug and can people see you stomping and they'll like ask like, hey, what are you doing? Like, can you draw attention to Stampai without like making noise, without the music making, without people hearing the music?
I'm thinking about it, but why are you saying that? Why would you say without?
No, because like this way you're playing, but you're trying to attract attention because our airport will not allow you to play music. They'll come and say, hey, wait a second, because they don't let people play music like that.
Yes, it's screw them. Like I'm okay with getting in troubles.
Oh, okay. Well, try it. What they say, oh, you got to stop it,
Exactly. I'll say, I'm sorry I didn't know that. But yeah. All I'm going to bring is a little boom that I'll plug in, so it'll be external speaker. And I'm carrying my guitar. So I'm traveling with a guitar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So because you want to bring attention to your product and saying, hey, I invented the product. And I'm just thinking, so you will have product with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll have the product with you. I'm thinking at airport. Is airport a good place? Because people, unless they're waiting around and have time, because people are usually in a hurry, they're not going to pay attention to that. The uh, another idea is, and again, this is like New York. Like you can, there are people there play music all the time, and
Yeah.
they're in the subway. You can just give them this tool and have a sign there and say, listen, I'll pay you this much money. Just play this music for me for like a whole day, and then just leave your cards and stuff there. And then
maybe here there's something where you can help me. You live in Newark, right? It's pretty close to New York. I should send you 100 of this, and you just go in front of the street musicians. You give them and then you just tell them how to sign up.
Yeah,
and,
I would have to find out who the street musician. Then the question is, how do I know they're actually going to do it? See, that's the thing.
We tell them to send the YouTube video once a week where they play the song with Stompai, and where there are at least like 10 people seeing it.
Right. I'm thinking is, do I know any? Because you gotta like really get to know somebody who's gonna do it, like who's a
exactly. No, Jay, I'm hearing you. So I'm not making this up. While I was in Chicago, I actually met one of the street musicians, and I took his business cards, and I went, hey, I love it. I was like, dude, I have a product. I'll send it to you. Yeah. So what I'm thinking, once I have more mounts, the plan is just to travel the cities, the big cities where street musicians.
Yeah. You were in New York. You were in New York over the summer, right? For the fall. You were here in New York in fall with Tony Robbins event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning to be in New York anytime soon?
I don't know, Jay. So my plan is I'm flying to Minsk from Minneapolis. I'm flying from Minsk to Amsterdam, and from Amsterdam to Kiev, and from Kiev to Minsk. So in every airport, I'll find a way to sing this song. So today I know maybe 3 or 4 songs with Stompai that I can stomp and sing and play. And so I have a vocal coach whose job to make sure that I don't suck.
Right.
I already sing people like.
Right.
So my job is to do my best singing, playing, and playing Stompai. And I'm truly that phase. Right. I think I need to lose some weight, so I'm gonna go on fasting for the next week.
Yeah, I lost 18 pounds.
So I think I'm just gonna go fast for 3-4 days.
You have to eliminate bread, sugar. Once you eliminate sugar from your diet, you start losing weight very quickly. Hey, another thing is because one of the things that I looked in your website, which is really good, is oh shoot. One of the things I saw on the website, which is really good. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, let me just see. In Stompai, right, where you talk about. Yeah, I like that. Yes, I can. That I have some comments on the website, which I'll send it to you. But one of the things is that like people who want to learn, because one of the things you're pointing out is that this is a simple tool to learn music and to create music. What about like targeting like preschool so that they can use this to teach kids how to learn, appreciate music, or even create music? Have you looked into that at all? Is that something, or are you going to find out based on what kind of reaction you get in Minsk?
That's something that I know would be worth discovering, but I just don't have my hands to look on that. But there are money there, and it's for the good sake, Teaching kids something good is good on its own, and I love it. Yeah. And then thinking I would be up donating a bunch of the amounts towards programs like you just mentioned. Because so it's going to cost us $1 or $2 to create a mount, and I'm thinking we're going to be selling it $15 to $20 here in America. So the margin is huge.
So let me ask you this, because I have my brother. He has young children, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is 4 years old, and the other 2 are twins, are like close to 2. They'll be 2 in March, I believe, right?
I don't know about 2, maybe. So my daughter is 3. You see, so actually, I'm looking at her feet.
Yeah, how is she using the product?
The phones are pretty big these days. My phone is a smaller. But she loves it. I have a video where she's like, "Yeah, let me have that. I love it." She's
just use your daughter you just put it on a video. Just let her use the product and take a video of it and then put it on YouTube.
No, no, I have plenty of that. I've been sharing it with my team, and when my daughter says I love Stampa, it was incredible. And
Yeah,
also,
because you wanted
I
that
got
innocent. You don't want that to look too professional. You want it to look innocent, like you see those videos that people send in, where she's just learning how to music, like that, and then she's just like really into it. That's what people like to see and saying, "Wow, maybe I should get that for my kids."
I love it, Jay. You know, you're so right. I should definitely post that.
Hey, one other thing, one other idea I have, and I don't want to give you too many ideas. You're going to just say, "Hey, I'm getting overwhelmed. I get."
No, 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 no. I love it.
So one of the other thing is because I was just thinking about it. So like my son, he's in the band, right? And
Hmm.
also in the band they have these dance team. These are mostly girls, and they dance to the music that they play. And I was thinking that maybe instead of just dancing, they could even produce music while they're dancing. They could like stomp and produce music.
Yeah, there is a huge
That's
aspect for Stampai in dancing. And I have a friend who's a professional dancer. He's involved with the project. He's helping us with the marketing right now. He has four schools where they teach kids how to dance. And since day one, he was telling me that he's extremely interested in product, you know, from the perspective of teaching kids how to dance. And,
the coordination,
and
because that way if you want to like dance in a together, right? Solo it's kind of hard because you're just dancing by yourself, but if you want to
so
dance.
Stampai music is coming, and Stampai Kids, or like Stampai Education, where I would like to learn how to teach kids, you know, rhythm through vibration. And so that competition one I found, they recently closed $600,000 in Indiegogo. They a watch. It's a watch that vibrates to your arm, and then you can put the watch on your feet or whatever. But then it's a metronome that will transform you the beat through the vibration of a vibrator. And so they saying that their vibrator is like 10 times more stronger than the cell phone vibrator, but they do sell the product for like, $200. And so I think it's an aspect for us that we can add just as a feature. But they did close $700,000 on Indiegogo just like recently. So
Right, right. Because I'm kind of thinking out of the box, like saying like, because I'm just not looking at this as just for music purposes. I'm also looking at it from a health perspective, that there are a
yes.
lot of elderly people in a nursing home, and a lot of them cannot move, but they can always, stomp their feet. But if it's tied to music, then they would be more incented to use it and saying, "Wow, I can actually produce music," and
I love it.
it'll
Why don't you join our team and you just, as an advisor, and you work on those two subjects that you just brought in? There's lots of money to be made there, global wise. Think about it.
Yeah. So you go target one nursing home after another and saying, "Hey, look, you got a lot of elderly people who are just sitting around." Instead of sitting around, you can do two things. They can stomp, they can get some exercise. In the process, they'll feel empowered that they're producing music together. And they could have a whole team of elderly people sitting around and trying to produce
I'm
music.
so glad we're recording it. This portion, this is genius, Jay.
Yeah.
This is genius.
Because I just thought about it. I said, there are so many things here that don't just focus in terms of just music, because
I told you this project is worth millions of dollars. I've already been telling it people for
I
like,
believe it.
but they just don't understand it. Why don't they understand it?
But you are the main face of this product, okay? You have to be out in the forefront. So you got to go and talk to reporters. You got to go and act a little crazy. Like you're going to Minsk. Don't worry about what other people say, because some people are always going to be negative no matter what. The fact is that you got to believe that this is the product that's not going to just, it's not just from, because remember, music is more than just music. This is about creativity. It's about connection, collaboration, and it brings joy. Joy is very important. Today in the world, people are just not joyful, right? Everybody wants to be happy, but instead of being happy, why can't you just be joyful by doing something that you feel like, I control what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of kind of motivating. Like I looked at like young kids, elderly people who are just sitting around. They're just vegetating. If you suddenly put this device onto their feet and they can hear themselves producing music, suddenly they'll come alive. So this is a product to make people come alive. That's how I would also market it that way. You have to figure out which is the right right way to market this.
You are the genius, by the way. I'm so grateful. I'm so gratefully working together here.
Yeah, sure. No, I like it. I like it because you're really good listener. So
By the
maybe.
way, do you know how's the match doing?
Oh, I don't know. He's doing fine, I think. I haven't talked to him recently. He looks like he's pretty busy at work these days.
Okay, I was hoping he makes 2 hour filming. He couldn't make it, but
Oh,
we didn't have the camera guy neither. So I mean, it was a mess. I started dropping some balls on the floor. So I ended up leaving.
so what kind of feedback have you received from people who have actually used this product?
They seem to like it.
No,
People
no,
who
what are
use
they
this.
what are they saying? Like what are the things that they told you specifically? Like, hey, I mean, liking it is fine, but are they giving you more specific than liking it? Saying, hey, this makes it I can really learn music. I really can appreciate music. Like, what are kind of things that they're using telling you about that?
So I'm thinking for people who are not musicians, it is. I'm gonna go upstairs if you don't mind, but because my daughter is there, I need to check what she's doing. She's always screwing something
Yeah,
up.
how's she feeling?
She's better, but it's taking lots of my time around.
You're
She's
a
she's,
good you're a good daddy.
she's bossing me around.
Yeah,
We,
my daughter
we
is
do what.
actually traveling today. She's going to DC, and I had to because last time I remember when she took the train, she would fall asleep, and then I would have to go pick her up in the middle of the night somewhere.
She's asleep.
Oh, she's sleeping.
She put herself to bed.
Oh,
So anyway, okay, so two different. I mean, plenty of different feedback I'm getting. People who don't play music. Some of them say, "Oh, that's really cool." Some of them say, okay.
but where do you think that you're getting the best response? People who are musicians or people who are non-musicians? Or it's too early to say. It's too early to tell right now.
Yeah, I feel it's probably a little bit too early. But I feel my user will be, majority of the people, not the best musicians, not the non-musicians, but probably it'll be your average musician, or like your average, or like somebody. So we will find a way how to find more audience. But I feel before we add some game perspective to the application, we won't be able to get as many people.
Right.
So we need to add some gaming aspect there, playing for us.
And do you feel like different ethnic group react differently to this product, or it's pretty universal? It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, or.
Let me show you. I did fail with mounts quite a bit. So this is how my new mount would look like, and so it has this is a band, just goes around the feet. Just like we just cut it. We don't even have to sew it. You just put it through.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's nice.
Through the loop, and then that's how it. But this one is short. That was a prototype, but here. So
Wow. So you've given a lot of thought to this product.
Yeah, no, it looks polished, and it just the problem that I'm running into with this. You see, I'm using different magnets, different size, different thickness, and I'm still not able to come out with a good mount. Still, the mounts that I have today they're not working ideal.
Okay.
So I changed my approach. We ordered a bunch of. I ordered a bunch of clips like this clip. You see, so just like the clip.
Right.
And so I'm changing design of this thing. So instead of magnets, you're gonna have this thing like integrated. It will be flat. It will
right.
but then you'll be just like
Right.
snapping your phone in there. And so this should be
The thing to do is like some of these ideas that we're talking about, but to take it to the next level, the best thing to do is just put an ad in like a Craigslist and see if there's somebody out there who works in the nursing home as a nurse, or and tell them, listen, I'd like to talk to you about something you can try, and then just get it like a real person who works with this, and then it's something that but the main thing is when you start dealing with like children and adults, I mean elderly, it has to be very easy to use, because if they have to really, if it's simple as just you putting it on and they start using it, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it gets too complicated, like they have to know this, they have to know that, if there are too many hops, then it's not going to work, because then they're going to say,
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was working towards this magnetic mount. So that for it to work, as soon as this is your phone, you just snap on it, and then it's just right there. It
right.
just
So like my mom is like in her 80s, okay, and like I right now, to change, like she's not happy with Dish Network, to change it, she doesn't like Dish because they just keep raising the prices. But then I
Mhm.
realized that if I changed it, it would be even a bigger headache, because then like Roku or something would get too complicated for her to use. So I said, Mom, let's just keep paying more, because it'll be too difficult to change at this point. And then she'll get on my case like, oh, now I can't watch my program. So what I'm saying is that if I had to get her to use this product, because right now she's kind of lonely, right? She needs something to do. So I can try it on her, okay, if it's that easy to use. Because sometimes she gets depressed, because after my dad passed away and she's by herself, she gets depressed. So if I can get her to just start stomping and producing music, I can find out how easy it is for somebody in her 80s to use this product.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be sending you a few mounts for sure. It just like I'm still working on it.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Take your time, because so your team in Minsk, everything is all working well there.
So I came out with a life hack. It's a mount. So it's what I have in my hand is actually the selfie stick.
Oh, wow, nice, nice.
And this is just a band. You can rip it from your underwear or somewhere else, but then so just some elastic band, and then if you put, and then boom, and then you can use it as your mount. So in Belarus, they have these mounts as a life hack, because perfect devices is required for us to be able to use the app really well. Without the perfect mounting position, the phone is if the phone is vaguely positioned in a mount, then the performance is not perfect. And for musicians, you want the feedback I'm getting is from musicians is that it's extremely important for product to work 100%. So whenever you do something, it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to produce any extra noise. Like if we're not sure whether we should have played the music or not, we don't play it all. Or like it should be, they should know, like, when you play piano, you know that you push this button and the sound is going to happen. So that's what is extremely important to musicians. That's what I'm hearing. So we are not at 100% of accuracy right now, but
That's for musicians. So then you try non-musicians till, because you know what I'm saying? That musicians
yeah.
are going to be very picky because they got a special ear for music. I don't think those are the people you would want to focus on if that's what they're asking. Like, oh, it has to be
Yeah,
exact.
I'm thinking. Well, I agree with you, but if our product is good enough that even super advanced musicians are using that, I think it's going to be the best marketing, and this is what it would take for product to go viral. I know the product is already going to succeed. I have no doubt that
Yeah.
we're gonna find it.
Get that legitimacy that this product is basically approved or
you know,
validated by
because
musicians.
it's working. It's working well 90% of the times, like 95% of the times. It's working really well. So we would have to build some AI to make it, all the way to 100%, and then even enhance your experience. So as I was saying, for example, think about it. Yeah, Jay, think about it. Yesterday, I was stomping and playing this Hallelujah song all day long. So I would start the song. Before I start singing, I would do 2 repetitions as as an entry. That's how, you know, you start a song. You just play it, and then you start singing. And then so as I doing it, I'm stomping my feet. And so the phone is able to know what the temp is. The phone is able to hear what music I'm playing, what words I'm saying. It's able to, you know, connect the dots and learn what the song is, what, you know, what the chords I'm playing, what is the melody, harmony, and then start adding, you know, the bass. So so as I do stomp, boom, boom, as I play, you know, as I play the drum. It's important to know there is a joke. Yeah, so as I'm playing the drum, it's easy for us to add bass guitar, and what I also know that it is really hard for every band that exists today. Everyone wants to have a bass player, because bass player is really required to play in sync with your drummer. So your drummer and your bass player have to play, you know, along together. And so with our device, we can even think about it. We can even add a drum to. I mean, as a bass guitar player, you can be a drummist, or as a drummist, you can be bass guitar player. And so whenever you're just stomping, it could be a different bass note played along for the harmony and the melody. So that's where the future of Stompa is coming.
Excellent. So wow, so that's good. That's good to hear that there's a lot of.
Imagine, like, so I played the song maybe 20, 50 times with the phone. Could it learn the song that I play in it? Could it already understand where in the context of the song I am? You know,
Right.
Just words that I'm singing.
Right.
You know, from the beats that I'm generating. So the phone
really?
should already.
So it learns based on how you're playing. So it only knows.
Well, today it doesn't, because I'm limited in cache. But I'm telling you that it's possible to build it really, really easy, right? It's not that hard to build that.
Right. What about if you want to play like remotely with somebody? Is that possible or not?
Yes. So my idea is once we add the social network, it's a huge aspect of the application. We're going to add social network, and then so you can play with your friends. They all can register. And so how that would be implemented, you know, let's say somebody will set the temp. So it will work similar to that competition of mine that I was telling you, that uses vibration as a way to indicate the temp to everyone. So let's say I say, okay, guys, let's start playing. So I start playing my guitar part, you start playing your piano part, and then let's say your song starts playing. I don't know. Just start singing, and then he's also maybe stomping, maybe not stomping, and then we can use the microphones in each of the cell phones as a way to save the stream of the audio stream of you singing, of me playing, of your song playing, and then it all can just get uploaded to the cloud somewhere, get crunched together, and then me, you, and your song, we all in different locations can generate this song that we can all share in our social media. How do you like that?
Wow, that would be. Can that be done today or not?
No, it's not able to give it done today, but it can be done in a month, let's say.
No, but then think about how powerful that is. That instead of like talking to people, you can just get people from all over the world and start producing music together. I think that's pretty powerful, don't you think so?
So you're saying maybe we should build this feature right away?
No. Wait, right now, keep it simple. No, I mean, you got to have a vision, right? Because one of the things you're saying is
that is the reason I just shared that with you.
Yeah,
and
that the vision is that you can take people who may not speak a language, but they could communicate through music, and you can take people from all over the world, and they could jam together and connect.
Can you imagine? You can be like, you can jam with someone like right away, like right now, like as a musician. This is a really good question. I'm loving it. I'm definitely. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely watching all the videos. By the way, I haven't watched the previous 2 videos yet. I'm so busy, and I'm behind on rewatching my coaching videos for my singing vocal as well. So I'm really behind.
No, okay. Here's what I'll do. I'll go in there and since you're busy, I'll do this for you. I'll go in and update it and put the time limits what we're discussing. So then you can go in specific point if that's what you want to do.
No, Jay. I literally have to do this work myself. You cannot do that for me. I think I have to do it myself.
No, because a lot of the stuff is we're just talking, but parts that are really specific, I can just say, okay, at this mark, this is something. it starts there. So you just go right to that point and watch like 3, 4, 5 minutes rather than going through the entire
Okay.
2 hours. So I can do that. I'll do that with this one after we're done. So that way you'll know exactly with this mark, it's where we're talking about how elderly people can use.
So I don't know, Jay. I'm thinking on March 3rd, when I'm flying to Belarus, I'm hoping that we launch on March 1st, and by March 3rd we should be already able to raise this $30,000. And if we do, then the plan would be, to find an office there, get all the people who've been on the project so far in the same room, so they start working from the same space.
So how does Kickstarter work? I've never used it before. So once you are on Kickstarter, how do people find you on Kickstarter, or you still have to promote it?
You do have to self-promote that a lot. So you have to self-promote that. People in the Kickstarters, they might find out if Kickstarter people like what they hear about you, they will promote it for you. But I'm also hoping to start getting the press. So I was hoping, I can get some press in Belarus for pretty cheap, or maybe inexpensive. But I'm thinking I need to start writing a couple stories, have few stories written, maybe have, as you said, write my story as an entrepreneur, write a story of me as a musician. I don't know, maybe what else?
Well, let's do this. Let's do this. This interview that I'm going to send you, let's start with that. That'll give you some idea on how to take it to the next level. And then another thing is, because you have people, like once there's a video or something, so I'm going to promote what you're doing on Twitter, and also on LinkedIn, right? And also on Facebook.
Yeah, so I'll ask all of my friends to share our Kickstarter, link on their social media. So that's indeed what I'm asking to do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking some of the people who I interrupted with, they probably even going to donate, $10, $20 or whatever. Honestly, I was hoping that my brother will donate quite a bit, but maybe you would help him out soon. So my brother, he's a software engineer. Remember, I was telling you he worked in a multi-level marketing company. They paid him really well. Last year, he made over $500,000.
Oh my God! So he's doing really well.
And he's 27. And so his boss...
what does he do to make that kind of money? Is he a sales guy or what? He's an entrepreneur like you?
Well, he's a software engineer.
Really? So he must be a top-notch software engineer.
Yeah, he's the main one. They highly depend on him. Anyhow, his boss sold the company to someone, and then someone came to my brother and they were like, well, you're getting paid way too much money. So they're like, we're going to cut away your revenue share. Like, because he was getting paid, percent revenue from the sales on the project that he was working on.
Wow. So your brother
he is a
hotshot programmer.
Umesh is calling me.
Umesh.
But he got cut. He came to me, and he's like, Eugene, so the software they produce is like AWS for multi-level marketing companies.
Mm-hmm.
And, solutions like that don't exist on the market, and there was only 6 of them working. And my brother had been telling me that he was the one pulling 80% of the 100. And so when he came to me, he's like, Eugene, I want to build my own business and do that. And he has only non-compete for 6 months. And I said, go do that. And I was like, you don't need any money to survive. Like literally, your house is paid out, your car is paid out. Like you don't need cash. You can go and work for 6 months. And he's like, well, but I never, you see, it was his first job out of school. And he just worked there really well. He started working for $10 as a software engineer. And, he worked for $10 an hour for almost 2 years. And now he's afraid of interviewing. And I'm afraid that if he's going to just land on some other job, he'll never build this product. And the product like that doesn't exist today. And nobody's going to build it better than he can. And he can do that. So I have to find some way to encourage him to do that.
Does he want to get back? Does he want to like temporarily get a job and then build it while he has a job, or you want him to just right now he's thinking of basically go all out and become an entrepreneur?
He's saying that he feels that he should find a job because he doesn't want to work that place because he met at them for he's
so he's still working there. He needs to move. He needs to change his job.
Well, he feels that he feels that he has to, but I'm telling him, why do you need to have another job? You don't have to have another job. He has plenty of cash. I told you he made
But I'll
500.
tell you one thing.
Yeah.
People, I had the same problem with one other person. People cannot handle financial stress because that's in their nature. They just think like that unless I see that check coming every 2 weeks, my life is just not going to be the same. It's like a drug. Having that biweekly paycheck is like a crack cocaine. You need that. Without that, they just feel like they'll never be. It's very addictive. And people, even though like a lot of people have money, they feel like right now I see that with my wife because she lost her job, and I could see her. She gets very anxious, like, oh, my severance is going to be ending soon. And I said, you don't need to worry. We can tap into money somewhere. You don't need to.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm not worried. I said,
Yeah.
we can do something you like and then figure out what to do from that. I said, that's what I do. I said, I don't need a lot of money to survive. We don't need a lot of money. We paid off our house and everything. So I said, why are you worrying? So what happens is people, they just convert, like if you're not working and making that money, that somehow your life is not the same. And people don't realize it, that you don't need to, yeah, you need to pay your bills, but you don't need that.
Yeah, well, I understand it.
Right. But so he already currently is working, you're saying, right?
Yeah, he works there. He works there.
If he wants to like just do talk to me like to 2 hours, I'm not going to charge him anything, and then we can see what he wants to do. So just tell him that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the best testimonials you get is when your customers are recommending.
Oh, exactly.
You.
That is the.
I already did recommend him that he takes coaching.
Yeah. Tell him that the first 2 hours is on me, and if he likes it, then we can take it from there. But tell him, but he needs to have a coach. He needs to talk to somebody, because sometimes the part of coaching is that because I spend a lot of time looking over stuff afterward. This is not the only time I spend with you. I have to read like 2-3 books just to get ready for this call. I have to read that book, Guitar Zero, which I would not have read if I wasn't working with you. And I learned a lot from reading that book, and I came up with a lot of ideas. I said, wow, some of it was a little too technical for me, okay, because it got.
I feel I have to read it. I feel I have to read it.
Yeah, right now I can update you, but what I'm saying is that you need to focus on your business right now. Because if you start reading, that's why I was saying that I read a couple of books and I can update you, but you need to get the main idea. But if you get too deeply involved in these books, then you're not focusing, because right now your time is very limited, and this business depends on you using your time optimally.
So what do you suggest I do the best then? I'm really confused. I feel the team is actually at the point where.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing you have to do. You really have two things that you're kind of balancing, okay? And this is the part. One is the product, and the other one is marketing. That's it. The product and marketing. Because if you have the product and you don't have the marketing, then it'll be a waste of effort.
Okay, well then hear me out. I was thinking for the 1st of March, our launch date, what I can do, I can take a speaker, I can take the microphone, a guitar, and just can go Mall of America where lots of people go and just sing the songs that I know, and just hope that people again just see me sing, and then just maybe tweet video.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something which doesn't take up a lot of money, but gets the word out, and you can just give away a certain amount of product. You may just have to give away to people if they're really committed on helping you out. Find out who are the people that really want to help you out, who's going to give you some feedback and will record the video and send it to you. If they're going to do that, then I would give them the free product. So you could say, like, you can come up with some program that like a launch special, I don't know, I have to come up with a name, that here's what you do. If you're willing to use this product, take video of this product, give me the feedback, then I'm willing to give you this product for free, and sign up for it. Because I think that these are your super fans, and they're the ones who are going to get that message out, and people say, hey, I'd like this product. And even tell them, if you sell it, I'll even give you some kick. You can give them 25% or whatever, that you can even sell it for you. They can even sell it for you.
I like that.
You
Yes.
need people out there selling it. You're not going to be able to sell this product yourself. So if you think that you're just doing marketing means you get awareness and then hire these people. Like, if I have the product, I can show
Wait. So I'm hearing, I'm listening. What if you cannot, make, what if I go multi-level marketing way here? What if you cannot buy the mount anywhere else and use the app with and then
right.
only buy through musicians?
Here's what I would suggest. Since this is a product, I would first, the thing that you want to do is all these other things will happen later, but if nobody is using the product, then the other things won't matter at all. So I think the main thing that I would focus on if I were you is get this product into hands of people. And then you can come up with other ideas like, I can come up with this idea. If the initial is like how much I can make, then you might be not get the market penetration. So you want as many people using this product as quickly as possible. And the more people that use it, then you can come up with a different business model. If you focus on the business model right now, then what will happen is you'll get because business model is kind of hard to know unless you have enough base out there, right? If you don't have, right now you're starting from zero. So you need to get this product out and see how addictive this product is for people, how much they're using it. Then from that, you'll immediately come up with a potential business model that's in there.
I just want to show you the picture. Speaking of addiction, I shared that with the team yesterday. This is my phone battery distribution.
Yeah. Go bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. I cannot see that bars. Oh yeah, now I can. Wow. So what do those blue bars indicate?
No, well, the point is, you see this app? This is a top app that used my phone on how many percent? 55%. So
wow,
like out of 6 hours. So I'm literally like you have your phone. Your phone is always your screen. We get lots of screen time because we don't dim the screen. The screen is always on. Because like as a musician, you swiping between sounds. So you need to have the screen open. So I'm saying if we added some advertisement, which I highly don't want to, I think we would get pretty profitable too. But I don't want to go there yet.
But like I said, the business model, like all these companies like Google and Facebook and all of them, what they focused on is making sure they got a product. Like look at Google, that search bar is still the same, that people use. That's simple, anybody can use it, right? And that's what Facebook did. And then they came up with this whole advertising business model behind it. So initially focus on getting the customers to love this product and who want to use it, who are going to tell other people about, who's going to spread the message that this is the product you want to use. And once you have that certain number, then you can figure out, okay, now I see a potential business model here. And business model can be developed once you have customers. You cannot develop a business model if you don't have customers. Because then you can sell them anything. You can say, hey, by the way, since you like this product, we got this add-on product now coming up. And they'll say, oh yeah, I want it. So right away, if you have people that you already know, then many of them are likely to buy what you're coming up with. But if you don't have any customers, then the business model is just nice theoretical model. It's not doing anything. So
the only one thing I was also thinking, I could log into the application requiring the email address, and this way, But then,
because see, if you get venture funding, then you may not even need a business model.
But you see, I don't want venture.
Oh no, I'm just saying that with venture capital, what they're going to say is like, hey, there is a business model down the line. I'm just saying, this is if you wanted to get this product out to many people, and you can go to a VC and saying, listen, because here's the thing, marketing is going to be the key thing. Anything today, if you don't have a lot of people using the product quickly, you cannot grow. So everything you want to do is going to be predicated on how quickly people start using this product. And people get impressed when they start seeing like, wow, you got 10,000 people using this. Wow, you got 100,000 people using it. Then they can't ignore you at that point. At that point, somebody comes in and says, hey, we'll buy you out. because we see a business model that you're not seeing. I mean, that's what when people, let's say somebody comes to you and says, hey, we want to buy you out for 10 million. The reason they want to buy you out for 10 million is because they think they can make 100 million.
I understand.
Right. So, and that's what happened to Zuckerberg when he had Facebook. Yahoo and all these companies wanted to pay him $1 billion when he was only 22. And then he said, "Oh, I got better ideas that I want to implement, so I'm not."
So Jay, speaking of that, I already have a plan. So my friend of mine, he's an owner of Intellect Soft. It's a company that does outsourcing in Belarus, software developers. And he told me that he recently ran into one of the guys who's running one of the largest companies in Asia right now. He was telling me that the company that the guy is running is like third or fourth largest in China. So it's pretty large. And he told my friend that his aspiration is in building the biggest B2C company in the world. So he was like, my desire is to build the biggest, and he said that he already had a company back in the day, and he just sold it. And he was like, it was bad to sell it. He was like, once you have something good going, just keep adding more products,
Oh, here are the two companies you have to think about how to get into if you want to, after you develop certain tractions, is Walmart and Costco, especially for Christmas. So if this product is ready, let's say by summer, you should really find out how you can get appointment at Walmart and Costco to see if they can put it in their Christmas, because this would be like something innovative that they would like to say, wow, this is something that we can make a lot of money. So if you can get one of those type of contracts, then you're golden.
Mm-hmm.
So to always find out, how do you get into Walmart and how do you get into Costco? And just keep trying, because those are you want to sell volumes here. This is not about, right now you're trying to get feedback. What I'm telling you is to get customers, you get some super fans and you're finding out. But then when you want to go big time, the big time is basically going to Walmart and Costco. That's your big time. And if you get if this product gets into Walmart or Costco, then you made it. The company suddenly, you're living in an island somewhere. Or then you get to work on different aspects of this product. But the thing is, keep that in mind, that if you really need at some point you're going to reach a point, like right now, I would say from March till June is to really get as much feedback as possible. And then you need to know what places you can get this product in for Christmas, before Christmas. So like by September to October, you really need a packaging in such a way that these people can, because they need a lead time, right? They need to make decision and lead time. And you need to find out whether the product will be in a position where they can say, okay, yeah, this is something.
By Christmas, we will be able to build a bunch of games teaching people how to play some Christmas songs. As you were saying, the tambourines and like other cowbells, they're perfect for Christmas songs. So
because people but people want to give this out as a gift for Christmas. They want to buy it. So like if you can get it into these big stores, because Costco will only have
Jay, that was my plan for this Christmas. I was supposed to be successful this Christmas, and we missed the date.
All right. Well, next Christmas, there's always another one coming around.
I'm so disappointed, you won't believe it. And we had everything from the product perspective. The features did not change. The scope of functionality did not change. The software was working the way it is working today before 1st of November. And like my goal was Christmas, and we failed.
So there are three types of, I'm not a marketing expert, but I can certainly look into it. So one is like the ground level marketing, where you go and you go to these Tony Robbins event and get people, because you need to use those events to get in touch with somebody who
has lots of people audience.
Who can connect you to somebody, because remember, everybody you meet is potentially interviewing you for something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're interviewing you, and somewhere you can even say, listen, if you help me, and you may have to say, I'll give you 25% if you can get me a big contract from give them some incentive to, because the more product you push out in the beginning, you just want this product. So one of the mistakes that I made with one of the guys that I was working with is I said, listen, he had an RFID product. Okay, he had an RFID product, and I said in the beginning, you just need customers. And once you have customers, then you can then come up with a future generation, and that can help your marketing, and you can do a lot with it. But he never did that, and as a result, he was just trying to go after these hospitals, and hospitals are really hard because they they don't make decisions quickly, and also for them, the technology they really understand the best have to do with medical instruments. They don't medical equipment. They don't understand IT part at all. If you go to a hospital, their IT is really bad. They're really bad. Their networking and everything is really bad. Because I have a cousin who works at a hospital, and he was telling me that, it's just a total nightmare to work in a hospital. But I said, well, they got all this scanner and this thing. He said, yeah, they'll spend money on all that because that generates money for them. But IT for them is like an expense. They don't think of it. Some of them are changing now. But the main thing is that if you can find people at this, so what's your objective? When are you going for the Tony Robbins event? Let's see, you're going there on the 3rd, the 12th, right?
Mm-hmm. What do I think my objective is? I was thinking, my objective would be, to meet all the people, and majority of the people that I meet there, they're gonna have thousands of subscribers on their social media. So all that I need to do is to have them record me singing and playing with the device, and just share and say, this is a friend, like he has a Kickstarter, you can buy his product and support him here and there, and that's it.
So you're going to LA for that, right?
Yes.
So in LA, have you identified
people?
Yeah, like different places? Because before you go to any town, you need to find out like who are the people and just reach out to them by LinkedIn or whatever. I don't know anybody in Los Angeles that I can connect you. You use your network and see like who are the people in LA that you can go talk to. Go one day early and just see if you can just talk to different people and give them a quick demo. At least they may not make any decision, but at least you're on their radar. Like, hey, I need to, if you get to this level, then we'll talk, or something like that. So at least you're in touch. And at the Tony Robbins event, the people are going to be mostly, they're not going to be like decision makers, right? The decision makers don't come to a Tony Robbins event. Is that true?
Well, no, I would disagree with that. Lots of people who come there, I mean, some people buy this premium subscription. It costs them like $75,000 a year. And
right. But you know exactly what the seminar is going to consist of, right? You're just going there as a networking, for networking?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So because you know exactly what Tony's going to talk about because you already gone to this UPW event several times.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I last times I went there, I did not attend. I was there as just a volunteer, doing this work.
Oh, you were just volunteering. So basically, you're just going there because you already have a business. So Tony already has an effect on you. You already did what he wanted you to do. You started your company. So now the question is, can Tony help you with, generating business? And that.
No, I think if we would find some way to bond with him, his messages, emotion is created by motion, and they can just say music is created by motion. And there was a Salesforce story that went viral. So they were saying that Salesforce owner quit his job at Oracle. He was a developer, and he went to 3 Tony Robbins events, and he got Salesforce. And so I have a similar story, exactly the same.
Mark Benioff?
I don't know who.
He's the owner of Salesforce, Mark Benioff?
Yes, and Tony.
I have to tell you a story about that because I used to work at Oracle about the time when he left Oracle.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have it with me. So the story goes like this. So I was at Oracle. Oracle at that time, before the word cloud ever became, I think he's the one who probably coined the word cloud, or he's the one who basically made it popular, Mark Benioff from Salesforce, right? So I was at Oracle from 96 till end of 99. Okay. And at that time, Oracle was pushing their thing, they called it at that time, network computing. And I was one of the evangelists who was going around different cities and giving lectures to a bunch of people. These are people who are paying money to come to see us, okay? And I did like 3-4 cities, I remember, all in the East Coast. I did Newark, New York, Boston, and some other city. I don't remember now. So I did like 4 or 5 cities, I believe. In the Philadelphia, I might have done it too. And so the interesting thing is that while I'm doing evangelizing, he's basically talking to people and starting a company. So at the end, he's getting Larry to invest in his company, Salesforce.com. I think he invested, like in his book, he talks about that, $2 million. And guess what I got? For doing the work that I did, they gave me this gold-plated pen. so, so for the work that I did to recognize, to reward me, I got gold-plated pens, and I went to all these cities. And the reason I did not only the cities, but I was in the Alliance organization, so I would go to different partners, and since they knew that I knew the subject really well, they would have me go to these partners like Ernst & Young and not Goldman Sachs, Accenture, and Capgemini, and give the presentation. So at the end, they realized that I had given the most number of presentation, and the reward for that was these gold plated, which I have it. One day I'll show you. And I actually, when I give presentation, I give that example that here's the difference between somebody who really knew how to start a company, who had an entrepreneurial mindset, and I was just happy going around evangelizing. And my reward at the end was these gold-plated pen and pencil set. And here he's worth like $12 billion now. We probably knew just about the same at that time, okay? Because I knew the Oracle's vision pretty well, the network computing, which today we call it cloud. And then they had this architecture that they called network computing architecture. And at that time, Oracle had also introduced the network computer, which today is just like a browser-based computer. So we were going around really pushing this vision that Oracle had. But the thing is, he did more than that. He saw that, hey, wait a second, this vision really makes sense. Why don't I then? But remember, he's well connected. He's living out in the Bay Area, right? I was living in New Jersey, so I don't have the access that he had.
Oh, come on. Tony saws those excuses. He says that you have to be resourceful. So you see, Jay, I swear, one of the things that we'll do next time Tony is doing an event in New York, I'll get you the tickets and you'll have to attend.
Oh, no, I'll get that. You just tell me when he's coming. And the thing is that the crowd, I usually don't like going to a place with a lot of people because I kind of get bored. I went to the U2 concert once, and my son and I ended up leaving early. I'm more into like small group, not a big, large, because his events are pretty loud, right?
Yeah, they're
loud, and they get people all into they're all into it. It's almost like a revival type of an event where everybody's really into it. They're kind of fun to attend from an entertainment perspective, and he's jumping around and.
I hear you. It's definitely not for everyone. Like not everyone will accept that. Like it's strange. For some people.
Right. So let's say, so the thing to do is marketing is very important. The product side, I think you have somebody in Minsk who's in charge of that, right? But the marketing part is going to be, these are the 2 areas you've got to have to get your hands on it. Because if you have a good product, then you need good marketing. In fact, sometimes you don't need a good product. You can have an average product with great marketing can make a big difference. So marketing is going to be very key. And I'll see if I can come up with some ideas on how to get the word out in different ways. But we need to come up with different ideas in marketing. And let me do some research for next time when we talk, and I'll focus just on the marketing. Because product, I'm not sure how much I can help you on the product side, because that's too technical. But on the marketing side, I'm going to do some research and see what are some ideas that I can come up with for you. So that way you can say, okay, because some of it you're already doing. And the main thing you're doing right now that's good is that you're networking with people. You're getting the word out. And I will send you the interview question. So I want you to get comfortable with getting people all excited about the product. Never discuss the technical part of the product. Just get them excited about the product. If somebody asks you, because see, the disadvantage you have is you know too much about the product, that you want to tell them too much. And what you want to be careful is you don't want to tell them too much. You just want to create that excitement where they want to say, I want the product. When can I have it? That's what you want them to do. You don't want them to go into the details on how the product works and all that. You just say, listen, this is a simple product which can, if you don't know music, it'll teach you music. And once you learn music, you'll be able to create your own music. And that's it. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple and get people all excited like, wow, when is it going to be available? I can't wait to get my hands on that product. That's the feeling you want to create. And you're very enthusiastic, so I'm sure you can do that pretty easily. Because you don't want to tell them. It's like, in that movie Jaws, they never show you the shark till like somewhere in the middle of the movie because he didn't have it. So you always created that suspense, like, when is that shark going to come up? When is the shark going to come up? And you really never see the shark. You see like the back end and this, the fin and all that, but you never really see the shark. And the reason that Steven Spielberg said is they didn't have it. The shark wasn't working. So the best product to sell is when you don't have the product. If you can sell a product when you don't have a product, then you really have something to develop. But if you already have a product, then people will poke holes into it. Like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. And you're like, oh, gosh, I had known all this stuff. So get people, anybody you talk to, you can practice with me. You've got to get them excited about the product and its potential and what it can do for them. Just focus on what it can do for them. Focus on that it's a product that'll bring you joy. That's it.
Okay, so I don't know. We can try to practice once.
So let's say, so you're at an airport, okay? So we're at an airport, and I say, so hey, so I'll ask you, so hey, what is this? What are you doing there?
Just play music.
Yeah. How does it work?
Well, it's really simple. I think it's so simple. It's just as easy as stomping. Just you pull your phone. You have this mount on your feet. You snap it on the mount.
Okay, no, stop. You're getting too deep into it. So when I asked you, remember, I don't know anything at this point, okay? I'm some guy out there who's just kind of curious, okay? And you say, listen, let me see you stomp. Can you stomp? And let him stomp. So just say, that's it. You got it. You got it.
Can you stomp? Can you stomp with your feet?
Yeah, let's see, like this.
Well, yeah, you can stomp with your toe and you can stomp with your heel. Can you do that both?
No, here's what you do. So you say, okay, so you ask me, okay? So I'm Eugene now. So I'm playing something. You say, hey, so what are you doing?
Hey, so what are you doing?
Oh, as you can see, I'm playing music. So how does it work?
How does it work?
All right, this is so easy. By the way, what's your name? What's your name? Eugene. Yeah. So Eugene, let me see. Can you stomp?
Yeah. See, boom, boom.
You got it. That's it. If you can stomp, you can play this music. That's how easy it is. So now you got them excited. Like, really? No, it can't be that simple. It is that simple. I tell people that if you can stomp, in fact, the company, I invented this product. It's called Stompayo. You stomp and it produces music. And it's designed so that anybody can play music. You know that most people want to play music, but it's so difficult. It takes 10 years, 10,000 hours. Here, 10 minutes, you'll be playing music. Because you just stomp. You already know how to play this music. Now I just need to connect it and you can start playing music. It doesn't even take 10 minutes, 10 seconds, and you'll be playing music. You don't need 10,000 hours to learn how to play music. I mean, you can just make up some stuff and just get them excited saying, oh, really? It's all it is just stomping? And then just put the device on their leg and just say, okay, let me just show you. If you were up to it, I can just show you how to do it quickly. And you just get them excited and the guy's like, yeah. And then some other guy will come. And before you know it, you'll have a whole crowd gathering there. And suddenly you'll, somebody will say, hey, I want to talk to you because there's an opportunity. There's something. Because remember, your opportunity really doesn't come from you. It comes from other people that you know, by the way. Like they have a weak ties. They have strong ties and weak ties.
Mm-hmm.
Your business will come not from strong ties. They'll come from weak ties. You know what I mean by that? Like people that you're connected to, they're strong. They're tied to you strongly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of your weak tie because you and I don't live in Minnesota, but as you get to know, I'm become a strong tie. But the person that I know is the weak tie that I can talk about you, and they're the ones who are more likely to help you than the people that are really close to you.
Mm-hmm.
So the weak ties, so just to give you an example, I gave a talk recently, and this woman saw me, and that's why I'm saying that the best marketing for me is when I give talks. And she said, Jay, can you help my son out? He's currently looking for a job. I said, sure. And I coached him uh, about 4 or 5 times. And then she said, "Oh, would you be okay? Would it be okay if I gave your name to this college?" And because I have a friend who works at this particular college, Brookdale College, and based on the talk, I think she would be interested in having. She would want to know more about it if you're interested in giving talk to college. I said, "Sure." So she talked to her friend Suzanne, who contacted me, and then Suzanne contacted one of the directors at the college. Her name was Sarah, who contacted me. And she said, "Yeah, we would definitely like to have you come in and give a talk." So now I'm going to be giving a talk at this college in April. But,
Awesome.
but you see what happens. So again, all the thing that you'll ever get is going to come from your weak ties, not your strong ties. The strong ties already, if they were going to do it, they would have already done it. The weak ties are the people who are like, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I know somebody out there. Would you be open if I give them your name or something like that?" And remember, if it's coming from them, they will talk to you. So if I send an email to a college, like I send it to my college that I went to, they don't even reply. But if somebody there contacts somebody there, then it makes a big difference. So the part of the networking is that you want to grow your weak ties.
JJ, I understand it, but do you understand why is it working this way? Because I thought about it a lot and I still don't understand it. Why is it working this way? Like why is it just such a way that people that you know?
Because so there's a reason for that. The people that they're too close to you. They can't see anything beyond that. Their network is limited and they're not thinking the right way. Whereas people that are weak ties are thinking in a totally different way than the people that you're closest to. So the people that are more likely to help you out are the people that are one level away from your strong ties. So the weak ties are more likely, because remember, the weak ties is much bigger. So like on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn concept is based on this, strong ties and weak ties. Like when they say that you have access to 2 million people, right? Those are like the weak ties. The people that you're already part of it, those are strong ties. So as you have your weak ties get bigger and bigger, that means that more people out there, somebody out there is going to connect you with somebody else. And that's how things move.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because otherwise, think about because like, for example, my brother is a doctor, okay? My sister is in Orlando. They can help me. If they were going to help me, if they were going to help me get a gig, they would have done it already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not helping me for whatever reason, or they don't know anybody or whatever. They're not motivated to help me. But this lady that I met, I don't even know her. Right? She just saw me attending my speech and she liked it to the point where she said, "Hey, would you mind if I contact this college?" And I said, "Sure, definitely."
Right? Isn't that interesting? Like anybody that you know could do that for you, but they don't.
That's why I'm saying that the weak ties, that's why don't spend a lot of time with your immediate family. Just look for their support, but they're not going, don't push them. They don't have it to help you.
Yeah.
But you don't need them. You don't need them. And later on, they'll say, "Oh, this, it's like this." That lady, Sarah Blakely. One of the things she said, she's the Spanx. She created this company called Spanx. That when
I saw her talk. She was in the conference.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's good. And I one time listened to a podcast where she was guest. And she said when she was working on her product, she did not tell any of her family members about the product because they will always. First of all, just think about it. In your family, like what I do, nobody does what I do among my family relatives. So if I tell them that I coach, do you know what they think of me? In fact, my brother's mother-in-law, she comes to me because they had a party last week for her daughter, and she comes to me and said, "Oh, how is retirement life treating you?" And I didn't want to tell her. I said, like, "What do you mean retired? Like, I'm not retired." So I'm saying this, people have no understanding of it. They think that if you're an entrepreneur, you're basically some kind of person who's unemployed, who's basically doesn't know what he's doing, They don't understand. They don't understand the concept of what an entrepreneurship is, that you're working twice as hard, 3 times as hard as somebody who has a job, but they see you at home. They think like, "Oh, This guy's a bum. He's not doing anything.
No, that's funny. But you're right.
So the thing is that like I basically can develop my own hours, but since I don't get up early in the morning to get on a train and bus or whatever, or drive a car to get to work and then slog away a whole day and come back around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, they think you're retired because that's the only way they think that you should be, that what you should be doing. That unless you're working for somebody, they don't think that you could be doing something completely different and be productive and be enjoying your life. They just can't see it that way. So
I don't understand why is he doing it this way.
no, but don't try to convince them. It's a lost cause. Just because the thing is that entrepreneurship, people don't like. Even my mom sometimes says, "Oh, Jay, you should get a job." I said, "Mom, I'm working harder now. I would love to get a job, but I wouldn't enjoy it anymore because I've been out of it for so long that I don't think I could survive in that kind of an atmosphere. I'd rather make less money but control what I do than go out and work for somebody and make more money and I'm totally unhappy and I'll get a heart attack and probably, drop dead." Because, when you work for somebody, you're constantly under stress because you could do the best job. Like I've gotten laid off when I've been the best producer, the top performer, and I've gotten, promotion when I wasn't even doing that much.
Right.
Corporations are really weird. And at times, I would just suddenly out of nowhere, I would get a call and I would be thinking like, oh, my boss wants to see me. Oh, I'm sure he's going to tell me what a great job I'm doing. And instead, they always, oh, here's another thing, which I don't know, you probably didn't have to go through this. When you go to your boss's office and they call you and he said, oh, Jay, first of all, I remember last time I got laid off. And he said, his name was Greg, I don't remember now. And he said, oh, why don't you? I said, I'm coming Wednesday. He said, can you come in on Tuesday? I said, no, I was planning to coming on Wednesday. He said, oh, things changed. Can you come in on Tuesday? So I get there and I was supposed to meet him at 11 o'clock or something like that. He said, oh, can you come in like a half hour? I said, I was there. I said, oh, can you come in? The meeting, he wants to meet with you. It's not going to take that long. He just wants to. And I was like, wait a second. I had all this thing planned. Why would it not take too long? So I go to his meeting and the secretary calls and says, oh, he would like to meet with you at 10:30. And I was like, wait a second. I thought I was supposed to meet him at 10 o'clock. And at 10:30, I said, I'm only meeting him for half hours. It's kind of sounded fishy that here you're supposed to meet somebody at 10 o'clock you thought would be for an hour. And suddenly the secretary calls and says, you're meeting now at 10:30. And you're like, how did an hour meeting, how are we going to squeeze all that in half an hour? I said, okay, maybe we'll meet some other time. And when you walk in, the first sign you know that you're dead is you'll see the HR person there. I'm like, well, who the hell is this guy? Then you realize you're the one who's going to get whacked.
I had the pleasure. when I quit my first job, was Calabrio. I was a senior automation engineer. I really enjoyed working there. But that was the companies that changed my mindset. You see, I was into employee mindset all my life. And in Calabria, they made me read books again. And they gave each of us this book called Freakonomics.
Oh, that's a good book.
And they said that everyone is required to read that book.
Okay.
And they were saying that they would do the test on the book. And they were doing tests on the product, and the tests were extremely challenging. The tests at United Health Group were extremely vague. There was defeating the purpose of the test. I feel like puking looking at the test. But tests at Calabria, they were challenging. You had to really know the product. And so they told us, this is a book. Everyone has to read that. If you fail the test on the book, you're going to be in troubles. So I studied the book really hard. And it blew my mind. And ever since I was like, okay, I need to work on personal development and maybe work on the product. Make one product, find money, find a way to build the product and sell this product 1,000,000 times versus work on our subscription pay from work. So they changed my mindset. They gave me this boost. And
Oh, that's a good book, by the way, Freakonomics. It really makes you think about a lot of different things. Like I especially like the part that I read that book a while back about the crime part. You remember the crime part, the broken window? And then they found out that crime, reduction in crime had a lot to do with the abortion laws. That's how they linked the two together. Because what they found was that they initially said like, oh, New York, it must be something that this guy Giuliani did. But then, if you remember that book, they said that then they looked at all the other cities. The crime went down everywhere. So the only thing they could come up with explanation on why the crime went down, and they said the only thing they could come up with that made any sense was the abortion laws. That
so what was the laws?
I'm sorry.
I didn't remember what was the laws. So what are those laws? What was they doing?
Oh, because if people did not have children that they were never going to take care of, right? So then they would not commit crime. And it takes like, when they get to like 17, 18 years old, when they start committing crime. So then they look backwards and said, oh, okay, so that's when this law was passed, Roe v. Wade, in the early 70s. So a lot of these women in poor neighborhood suddenly had another option. Previously, if there were no laws, there were laws where you could not have abortion. But when they found out, when they could have abortion legally, then they didn't need to have children that they did not want to take care of. Now, I'm not going to go into like whether abortion is right or not. I'm just saying they're just connecting that the real reason the crime went down is that if these mothers who are single moms, right? The father had already left, and they were having children. If those children were never going to be taken care of, then they would basically resort to crime. But because they were having abortions, those children, they just were not, the children they were having, they were taking care of them, or they were not having children at all. And they said that's the only thing that could explain why that, and of course, people who are anti-abortion disagree with that because they think that has nothing to do with it. But these people are looking at real statistics and showing the only explanation we can find is that the abortion law had a lot to do with the reduction in crime. Because Giuliani, he was the mayor, and he's saying that it's because of my policy is what reduced the crime. And these economists, they said, wait a second, that's true that your policy in New York may have reduced the crime, but it wasn't really your policy because when we look at all the other cities, their crime also went down where you had nothing to do with. So if you read the book, you'll find out. I mean, that's what I remember. That like really was that.
I should probably reread it because I was not remembering. But yeah, but they did change my mindset a lot. So I highly appreciate it for that. And then we were coming out with this project.
Because they had something in one of their later books. They did something very interesting. So this is something to keep in mind. So they had this band they talk about, Van Halen. Have you heard of that group? Band Van Halen. So every city they go to, they have to
dance.
Huh?
Dance.
Dance?
No, it's M&M's. It's chocolates, right? It's a colored.
Yeah. So you know that, right? The M&Ms, right? So they basically would purposely tell them that in their guidebook, like here's how we want everything set up. They would put down specifically that do not have brown M&Ms or something. And the first thing they would go and look in their room, and if they found a brown M&M, they knew that the people did not do a good job. And that's actually so I use that example because in any time I go buy something, I always find out something that I already know. And then I'll ask them. And if they lie to me, then I know they're lying to me about a lot of other things too. So I always look that example, and I always, like one time I go to a car dealer when I wanted to buy my wife a car. So another thing is you got to use up their time. You got to go more than once because here's what liars do. One thing about liars is this. Keep this in mind. Liars do not remember the lies that they're telling you. So if I lied to you today and you saying, Jay, I need to talk to you more before I make a decision. And let's say we do another call. And then you just bring up that topic. And most likely I have now forgotten the lie that I told you in the last because you know exactly what you wanted to know, right? And if I'd lied to you, I've already forgotten. See, truth you don't forget, because truth is truth, right? You don't forget the truth.
I love it. I
Lies,
love it.
the lies you forget. So suddenly you would ask me that question. Hey Jay, I just wanted to remember that thing. The way you have to be clever in how you bring it up. So what happened with the car dealer was, on one time I went there, the manager comes out and says, "Oh," gives me a sob story, Jay. You know, we're not making much money. The most we're going to make on this is about $1,000. Okay. I said, okay, I'm going to have to think about it. And I left. So I come the next time. And this time he brings his F&A guy, finance, right? And he said, look, this is the lowest we can make to sell this car. And he was telling me that they're going to make $2,500. So suddenly I realized that there was a lie there. That how the manager's telling me one time he's only making $1,000 and the next time he's making 20. And the price had gone down too. The price had gone down and now he's making more when the price went down. I said, you know what? This doesn't sound right. That last time you were making 1,000, now you reduce the price by another $500 or $600, but now you're making $2,500. So what I'm saying is that they had no coordination. They were just lying. And when they lie, they forget, like, what did I tell them the last time? But you don't forget, right? Because if you go multiple times, you can't forget. So I always tell people that if you're buying a big ticket item or any ticket item, suck up people's time, because eventually there will be a lie there. Liars can never remember the lies they've told you because they've told that lie to somebody else and now they can't remember whether they told that lie to you or somebody else. And they'll come up with another lie. And if you're sharp, you'll immediately pick that up and say, I can't do business with you.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Good.
So always remember that. Hey, I wanted to go over a few things if you have a little time.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna tell you. I'm barely using my recorder. I'm always intending to use it, but I use it only twice. I need to start.
Oh, I use it all the time. Let's see how many. Let me see. How many I have in mind?
I need to build the habit.
I have.
You know, I even went ahead and hired myself editor through Upwork, and I hired myself a guy in Philippines to listen to my recordings and type them in a keyboard.
Oh, okay.
And, I got all of that set up, but I haven't started using that.
How much is he charging you for it?
It's like $5 an hour.
Oh, really? Wow. Maybe I'll use him too.
Yeah.
And you just send him the MP3?
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't used it even once yet, so.
Oh, that's a good deal you're getting. $5 an hour? Wow. So I have 132, so this is going to fill up pretty quickly. I mean, it's going to. So I got 132 recordings here in like less than several weeks.
That's incredible.
So here's what it sounds like.
I'm back. I was right here.
Okay. So here's what it sounds like.
Currently, no, I'm not into meditation and all that, but I do believe in this thing. The way you breathe is internal. That's your oxygen. So you gotta master it. You gotta really know how you're breathing. Because if you don't breathe, you're dead. Okay, you know that. If you don't breathe well. And I learned something very interesting. When you don't breathe well, it starts affecting your memory. And just about a year ago, less than a year ago, my father passed away. And I realized this so quickly, what happens. He came down with pneumonia. And he had fibrosis that affected his...
Anyway, so what I'm saying there is, so this is what I would do. So what I do is I'll just like random thoughts. And I don't want to lose that. Because see, what happens is like you're an entrepreneur and you have a lot of, like right now, what we're doing is recording it. So we're not losing track of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're walking by yourself and you're reflecting, you're going to come up with a lot of ideas and you have to capture that. Because if you don't capture that, it's gone. And then you're going to kick yourself like, oh, what did I say? What did I say? And you don't want that because a lot of these ideas ideas don't just come like in a bowl or on a silver platter. You just keep it just occurs because you're bringing different things together, and suddenly you come up with this idea like, oh yes, I got it, and then you develop it further and further and test it and test it and test it, and then you finally think, I think I have it now. Like even this idea about this business, it must have come over time. It didn't just happen one night. And even if it happens one night, you still have to test it out. So it's a whole process that nobody ever shows you how creativity really works. Because nobody ever shows you how creative, everybody thinks like, oh, this guy is very creative, but they never show you the genesis of how creativity actually occurs. And with this, you are basically capturing your initial thought, and those initial thought, if you don't capture it, then they're gone. Then you can't use it to develop anything from that. So what I do is, like a lot of my ideas, this idea that I just told you, I mean, there's much there. That's a 10-minute video that I have to now go back and transcribe, most likely if I don't do it, but it's there somewhere. This thing I told you about the weak ties, I just, in fact, the talk that I'm going to be giving is on interviewing. And what I'm talking, in fact, I wrote a blog. I can send you the blog. And what I'm saying is, when you
everything you send, I always read and I listen to. So all of the videos, links that you send me, I listen.
No, this is the blog that I wrote. I'll send you the blog on interviewing because I have to give a talk on this. So what I'm saying is that when you apply, when your resume, right, and this applies to you. Oh, there she is. Hey, cutie pie. Hi there. Hi there. What's your name? Huh? What's your name?
She doesn't speak the language. This is my and my wife's secret language for now.
Oh, she speaks Russian?
Yeah, in the daycare they speak Russian. Yeah, we have no doubts that she'll be able to speak the language.
Oh, yeah. Kids pick up. So what should I say? How do I say what's your name in Russian?
Or you can say привет.
Привет. Привет. Привет. Oh no, he doesn't sound like a Russian. He's.
Oh, yeah. It's hello. Yeah, it's hello.
Hello. I only know the Russian from Gorbachev. Let's see, Glasnost. You know what Glasnost is? Perestroika.
No, but I feel somebody had been telling me that Putin is a big communist and he wants to make USSR back, and it looks like they're trying to force Belarus to join Russia into the country.
Yeah, I know. There's always like Latvia, Estonia, but Belarus was part of Russia at one time, right?
Only during USSR, but before USSR it was a separate country, and I would really prefer it to stay that way. So.
Is Sochi, is that in Belarus? Sochi?
No, it's in Russia.
Oh, it's in Russia, right. Yeah, I don't like what's going on in Russia right now with Putin. He's been there for too long. They need to go back to democracy. Democracy is rough. People don't like it because everybody always wants these strong leaders, who can just. But that's not what people want. At the end, democracy is a process, and you got to have the patience to deal with the process. And one of the things is that you have to compromise, and people don't want to compromise anymore. Everybody wants everything their way, and that's why you have all these dictators all around the world that are kind of running the show now.
Mm-hmm.
And they get there through democracy, so it's kind of a farce. Like Putin was elected, right? But he had no competition.
Mm-hmm.
That other guy that he was running against, they put him in jail, or they disbarred him or something.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even get the choice, and the campaign is all one-sided, and they control the media. So it's a joke, And I believe in democracy. I think democracy is rough, but the other systems are just not good in the long term.
I'm sorry. She's a little crying.
Yeah. Hey, one thing. So the website, I'm going to give you some comments on the website. It looks good, but some of the verbiage I want you to take a look at and see what you think, because you have to make the final decision. Like the one on Stomp By at the end you had, I just modified it and I think I sent it to you, but I'll send it to you again. And I'm using that book, by the way. It's a good book.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
You sent me the message.
Donald Miller's book, Story Brand. That's a good book. I would. I mean,
I told my partner he was supposed to read the book and build all the messaging based from that book, and he did
if you don't have time, don't worry. Don't read the book. I'll basically.
No. I'm saying I know I love the book. I read it, and I'm rereading it again myself again too. I'm loving it.
Because I don't want you to. I want you to focus on two things only: the product and marketing. I don't want you to go in as far as the messaging and all that. I can give it to you, and then you can modify it the way you like it. Because I don't want you to get sidetracked from the two important things that you have to really focus on. I mean, the company really depends on these two things: the product and marketing. That's all I need you to focus on. If you're focusing on anything else, then you're not using your time properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end, the company is going to come down to, you got to have the product and you got to get people to use the product, get the marketing, get the people to get, otherwise you won't have customers, right? So the only two things you should focus on all the time is, am I helping make this product, is your involvement making the product better? That's a question you should ask them. And is my involvement get more customers? That's only two things you really need to focus on: getting customers and keeping customers. And getting customers is through product, and keeping customers is through marketing. So you got to just focus on those two things, because otherwise you'll be all over the map, and your time will, because right now the thing that you only have a limited supply of is your time. And as a CEO of your company, you really need to prioritize on just those two things. And the third thing, of course, is hiring. But right now, you're at an early stage where the two things that are really important is the product and marketing. That's it. Everything else, offloaded. Just, that's why you have me. So you say, Jay, I need help on the messaging. I'll work on it. Offload other things to other people.
Yeah, I would need some rock star editor, like literally, like I would benefit from having one rock star editor. I got someone that at Upwork. It's someone in Nigeria.
I wouldn't get somebody from Nigeria. Did you contact that guy I gave you? I can contact him.
I know. I contacted him. He said that he'll be busy till like mid of April, something like that.
Okay.
So I did tell him that I do need him on daily, like on a weekly basis. I was like, let's start working, and he's like, I'm busy for the next month, but after that, let's talk. So maybe maybe I'll ping him another email. Say, that's a good one. Tony Robbins says that you can get whatever you want. It just like it depends how badly you want it. Maybe that's exactly what happened. What
you may want to do is, like, if you can get somebody cheap right now, just let the first version get it done, and then you can use them as a second level editor.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
That's what I did. I used him as a second level editor. The first level this woman had edited, I paid her a lot of money for that, but she wasn't good. And then I used this guy, Edmonds. I forgot his first name. Anyway, I used him as a second level, and he's much more meticulous. He's really good. He's really an editor. He's not an author.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't write books. He just edits, and he's been doing it for so long. He's an old guy. He lives in Oakland. And he did a good job. He did. For my first book, he actually works as a contractor for that company Scribe that Tucker Max started. What they do is that somebody like who's an executive, they want to author books, and they will speak. They'll record them talking, and then they will write it, and then they will send it to an editor, and he's one of the editors for that company.
Yeah, I feel I would definitely benefit from it. But you're right. I need to start writing some text right now. I need to write.
But the main thing I think what I'm telling you is the focus should be you got to do a lot of things. You got to have to. One of the things that you're going to have to really master is priority, and the two priorities I'm telling you is actually three priorities, but third one doesn't apply right now. The first one is product. The second one is marketing. And it's kind of hard to tell, because if the product is already done close to, then you really need to ramp up on the marketing side and just focus on the marketing side, because otherwise the company is not going to take off.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get involved with too many other things. As far as the messaging is concerned, you don't need a perfect message. You have a good message. It just needs to be tweaked. Just has to be tweaked. So like one of the things I'll read what you have. you put down in the thing that stomp. I know this. You're gonna revise it. You put down stampai is not an instrument or tool.
Oh, the reason it's there this way. It's a poem. It's a poem.
Oh,
it's written as a poem. It's not me who wrote it. I hired someone on Upwork, but yeah, no, it was a poem. See,
oh, okay. Well, anyway, whoever wrote it, but my comment is the following. The thing is that
yeah, I saw that.
You don't want to use a negative there because that's not
right.
It's more than that. It's not. You don't want to say it's not something because suddenly you're bringing somebody in a negative mind frame. So I just put down that it's more than a musical instrument. It's a simple tool to and express yourself with music. If you give us your feed, we'll give you joy of connecting, collaborating, creating, and living. And another thing I put down there is these are things that I want you to think about. I'm not saying accept it. That stomp by promise. That's the promise you're making, okay? That if you can stomp, you can learn and create music. That's the promise that you want to make. So that's the stomp by promise that you can put on your website. That this is the stomp by promise. That if you can stomp, then you can learn and create music. Or something like that. You can change it, but you want it that's the promise that you want to make. That if somebody, like what is stomp by about? That we promise you that if you can stomp, and which you already said that you can learn and create music. So what I'll do is let me take a shot at this story brand concept and send it to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it to you. Don't focus on that because otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed. What I want you to focus on is, or I'm suggesting you focus on, is the product and the marketing, some of the ideas you have. Since the marketing, the needed focus on the marketing right now is you're going to Minsk, so you'll have some videos and get some feedback. And then the other one is the Tony Robbins event, where you make sure you have a good message and how to, and in fact, I would even send it to Tony Robbins, send the product to Tony Robbins. What do you got to lose? Just send it to him saying, hey, listen, I'm going to be there and try this product. And if you want, I'll come and give a quick demo of it. See what he says. I would do it. What do you got to lose?
I don't know where would I send it? Send it to his corporation address?
Call up some Tony Robbins. You've been to many of their events. Do you know anybody who works there?
Yes.
I mean, you've been to how many of his events? So you must know at this point who are the people that are like working for that company. And just say, hey, listen, I want to send something to his company, to a product to just try it. And what are they going to say? No, but tell them, listen, here's what I would tell them. Okay, I can draft something. Listen, I'm an avid Tony Robbins supporter. I've been to so many of his events, and I just wanted to send him something to try it, see what he thinks. That's it. Hey, listen, you made that guy a lot of money, okay?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just thinking, he lots of entrepreneurs all over the world is definitely trying to preach him, and he's definitely connecting to some of them. So it is possible.
Right, honestly, but the thing is, does he like music? What does he like? What does he like? Like, what are his hot buttons? Because you have to see what he's into. Like, is he into young kids and charity? So this is how I would position it. Hey, Tony, I know you'd like to, because he does a lot with the food thing, food.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's into charity. He's into helping people.
No, he's into getting people, which is good. But one of the things is that people need food for their brains too. So that's how I would position it. That, Tony, I know that you're into helping people generating, he gives out meals, right? But another thing that's also very important is after meal, they need food for their brain. And this product will help that. That's how I would position it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message that I would go with. I would say,
then I can bond on this his message that emotion is created by motion.
No. This is that everybody's using that. That's too easy. Everybody will use that. What I'm saying is that you can do it when you meet with him. But to get to him is that the thing that gets him interested in is his charity is to feed people all over the world, right? He always talks about it, that he's served how many meals all over the world. He always talks about that. You must have seen him at his event.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing to say is that, Tony, I completely agree that what you're doing is extremely important for people to get meals. But at some point, they need also food for their brain. And this product is a good way to start with that. That's the message that I would lead with if I were you. Because after a while, people eat. They need to do something. Because if they don't put food in their brain, and this product allows them to do that, that allows them to bring out their creativity, makes them productive. And I could, if you give me a few time, I can explain that this is the kind of product that you want these people to start as a way of getting them to start getting food into their brain rather than just food into their mouth. Because after a while, they need to do more than that.
I think I can do a tweet on that then, right? Maybe I can do a tweet.
No, I want you to take some risks because you're going to that event. He's going to be there, and you know people at Tony Robbins' event that you already connected with. You've gone to so many of them that at this point you need to raise the bar a little bit and start getting to these people.
I love it. So you're challenging. Yeah. You're saying how can I get it? I'm thinking my biggest bet in getting it done would be, there is a guy. His name is Garrett. He works for Tony Robbins Foundation. He is he worked with me as I was crewing the sales floor. Once we were selling all those CDs. I really hated this job, but then I'm good at selling stuff. So I was
okay. Here's the thing. Let's say let's say I'm Tony Robbins, and I'm only going to give you 10 seconds. Okay, how are you going to convince me that I should give you more time? You're going to get only 10 seconds. How are you going to convince me that you should get more time?
You got me off guard. You just got me that idea, and I know I'm not ready. And so I guess I don't feel confident. So I guess I'll be like, I lost.
No, just give it. Let's say, listen, Tony, your idea of feeding people is outstanding, but the next step is they need to feed their brain, and I have a product that is so simple to use that'll get them started. Something like that. You need to start with something like that. I'll craft it for you and send it to you. But that's the message that you need to. You always have to pretend like somebody you're meeting, even though you're not meeting, because you can't think then. Remember, there's no such thing as thinking on your feet. It's all about preparation. So you have to prepare that you may get 10 seconds in front of Tony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not Tony Robbins, it could be his wife, But you have to prepare like you're going to get 10 seconds in front of Tony Robbins. How are you going to maximize that 10 seconds? You have a product that could really, if you have given the thought saying, Tony, you like to feed people, I like to feed their brains. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. How about we collaborate and get them to have feed them completely? So you see, you told him, listen, Tony, you like to feed people, I like to feed their brain. I have a product that can do that. How about we work together? That's it. He'll say, oh, well, really? How do you do that? Oh, how do you do that?
That's exactly how you say. Yes, exactly. You're so right.
You know how to feed people? I want to hear about it. Tell me more. Okay, so now you have to get to the second level. So you got to the first level and said, Tony, you like to feed people. I like to feed their brains. How do we work together? What? What did you just say? Feed the brain? How do you do that? I have this product. I can explain to you. And then say it allows them to learn and create music. And if they create music, they feel confident. And then they're going to be empowered to do anything they want. That's your message. Motion, action, what is that? Motion creates music, or emotion creates motion, motion creates music. My product will do that, Tony. It completely aligns with the message that you've been conveying for all these years. Finally, you got a product that really essentially, I got this idea from you, Tony, from attending all the events. That's how you tell him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of you, I came up with this product. So you got to tell him that he had a lot to do with it. Listen, you struck out at Grant Cardone. You can't strike out with Tony Robbins, okay?
He has like security team of 20 people, so people
but coming. The thing is, of course they have that. That's to make sure that other people without serious product don't get through, right? The real estate. He doesn't want to talk to a real estate guy, okay?
It's so Jay, I'm open singing in all the airports. I could care less about security.
Remember,
But I saw Tony's security. He's a celebrity. He's being treated as celebrity by his security guys. Like everyone they see come to him close. They like.
but the thing is, forget about security. Forget about security. But do you have a message that would resonate with him?
Now I do. You just gave it to me. I didn't have it before.
He likes to feed people. You like to feed their brains. There is a connection there. There is a collaboration there where he can feed people. You come in the back end to feed their brains with this product. Okay. And
you are incredible, Jay. By the way, I want you to know that you're incredible, and all of your friends who don't understand how incredible you are, they extremely. I don't know.
Oh, you know how. See, you're a good salesman. You know how to make people feel good.
No, indeed.
That's what I want you to do. So that's what I want you to do with Tony. Tony, I completely don't waste words. Words are cheap. Okay, just say, Tony, I like you feeding people. I like to feed their brains. We can work together and really make them empower them. And this is the thing about, you talk about, and I got this idea from attending your talks. That's how you tell them. And let me tell you, that's a 10-second pitch right there.
Yeah.
And that's a 10-second pitch. If you don't have a 10-second pitch, then you're crap, okay? Because nobody gives you more than 10 seconds today, especially a guy like Tony. So the question is, that's the main. So now you got a message. There's no point in penetrating through the security if you can't penetrate, if you don't have a message for 10 seconds. So I'll give you an example. So this is what happened. One time we were at Alcatraz. You know what Alcatraz is?
Mm-hmm.
Alcatraz, that prison by San Francisco. So my nephew is 4 years old. And at the end of our tour, there's a tour guide. And suddenly he raises his hand. And I'm like, who's asking questions? I turn around and I said, hey, that's my nephew. I wonder what kind of question he has. And guess what? He had no question. And he's like, so then he's like, oh, now that, so the tour guide says, hey, young man, what's your question? He has no question. So then you know what he does? He blurts out, hey, today's my dad's birthday. And everybody's serenading my brother-in-law with happy birthday. So the message there is that if you're going to ask a question, you better know what question you're going to ask. Don't raise your hand. So if you're going to try to penetrate through the security, you better make sure you have a message that is going to resonate with Tony Robbins. But you know what? Even if you don't get through, this is how you have to think. That you're going to be meeting with a lot of movers and shakers. And if you don't have good prepared 10 seconds, then you can't succeed. It's just not possible.
Yes.
And if you work this hard with your product, then you've got to also have the message to be able to take that message to anybody. And this Tony Robbins is very simple. You know him, you've attended so many of his events, and you know what's his hot button. He likes to feed people, and you like to feed people's brain. There is a collaboration there that you could work with him on.
I mean, there is definitely possibility of working, because I would like to scale this product global wise. And I think he has the biggest global corporation.
You know what he could do? He could make one phone call that can change your life.
Yeah.
Really? Hey, I have this, because he's got several, he owns hundreds of companies. Hey, this is a product because remember, the person who writes the book is never the real beneficiary of the book. The people who read it are the ones who really benefit from the book, because then they take it to the next level. So you will never be the one producing the best music by developing this product. It'll be somebody else. And that's how it works. So if you just feed it, if you give him this idea that, Tony, people's brain need to be fed too, and he will then immediately connect, because that's how his mind works. That, hey, you already made it his simple. I like to feed, but you need to feed people's brain. It's not enough to just feed their mouths. Tony, you're good at feeding people's mouth. I'm good at feeding people's brain. Can we work together? That's it. That's your message right there. All right. So I'm Tony Robbins now. So let's hear it. All right.
Hey, Tony, you're really big at feeding people, but when people eat, they also have to eat something for their brain. You care about feeding people. I care about feeding people's brain. Let's work together.
Yeah, that's it.
How can we work together?
How can we work together so we can feed people their mouths and their brain? That's it. That's the argument you want to make. Tony, so this is the thing. So, Eugene, you got to say it like this. Tony, you like to feed people. You like to feed people's mouths. I like to feed people's brain. How can we work together so we can feed their mouths and their brain so they can become powerful? That's it. That's it. That's the message. So if you go with that, one of his henchmen saying, listen.
You know what, Jay, I can actually use this message with any of the coaches that I will meet through this event as well, because majority of them are coaching people into, so I can pretty much tell it to everyone.
So test it out with people who work for his company saying, hey, can you help me out? Here's the message I have for Tony. So try it out with different people and see how it resonates. You got to go there with some kind of experiment you want to do. You got to test out something, okay? Don't go there and wing it, okay? That would be a waste of an effort and time, okay? So go with a particular message that you want to experiment and see what kind of reaction you're getting. So you got to...
As an example, last time I met some good book writers from this FIRE team. And FIRE team is really the only team where people do manual labor outside together and they work elbow to elbow, and you do landscaping. And so it connects people even deeper. And there are a bunch of book writers who have, thousands of followers on their social media. So, my biggest goal when I was thinking about it, like just pitch them and ask them to share our post, because this is like a ramp. I can use Tony Robbins as a ramp to connect to the people from other countries to share an article about us. So.
You can target anybody that's into feeding people and saying, listen, you guys are into feeding people's mouths, but they also need to feed their brain, and I have a product that can help them.
Not even feeding people. I'm saying like even like personal development and any of the coaches. Like, so I think feeding people, just helping people, like self development, right? Improving creativity. So I think along with that, I'm in the right. I'm definitely going to the right place, right?
You're right. No, you're going to the right place. What I'm saying is that you need to test these things out. You got to be the one who has to drive the message. Okay, yeah. I can coach you, but you got to execute.
Yes.
You gotta take a shot. You gotta take a shot.
That's why I took 2 acting classes last month. So that's
but it has to be really sharp. You gotta be tight. You can't say, "Oh, Tony, nice to meet you." No. That's bullshit talk. Okay. You gotta say, Tony, you like to feed people. I like to feed their brains. That's it. They don't think. See, the more words you use, the more you confuse them or you lose them. So you got to get them. Tony, you like to feed people, right? I like to feed their brains. How can we work together so we can feed their mouths and their brains so they become, powerful or whatever, okay? And the more you practice this, you shouldn't have to think about it. If you have to think then, you lost it. Because nobody thinks like that. Thinking is all about preparation. A basketball player doesn't learn how to shoot baskets when he's on the court. He's already practiced that so many times. And when he gets the ball, he can just take a shot and make it.
I know. That's why I'm taking the vocal lessons and I'm singing the songs, because I know
But you got to practice with this. You got to practice with this.
I understand the concept. I want
you to go for a walk and practice like you're going to see Tony Robbins. I want you to practice like you're going to see somebody else at every place you go to. Everything before you say it, you need to hear it yourself.
Let challenge me on the meeting 5 different user groups next time, and we connect that together with you, and you can tell me how confident I look. So we can do an acting. You can be like, okay, like right now I'm a pregnant girl with 2 kids, and I'm a little bit
No, it's good, because you need to talk to different. So you can say you talk to somebody who's working at a nursing home. How would you connect? How would you get them excited? How would you get a preschool teacher excited? How would you get a musician excited?
I love it. Yeah.
So there's 5 different persona we need to come up with, and then you need a message for each one of them. And then you need to figure out which bucket somebody falls into, and you got the right pitch for that.
And I need to start testing that. And the more I do, the better I get. And the better I get, the sooner I get there, the better my marketing is going to be, right?
Listen, you are Stampaio, okay? You're not Eugene. You are Stampaio. People will, if you can't excite people, they are never going to touch the product. So everything flows from you.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that you got to convert yourself. You got to create that excitement by yourself first before you go out and test it out. And I think this is the best tool you got right here. This audio recorder. You go for a walk if the weather is good and just record it. Like, here's a different scenario. Let me see. Here's how it's going to work. How would I convince them? Everything has to be very short, and there's got to be a 10-second pitch. So if Tony Robbins, you say, Tony, you like to feed people, I like to feed their brains. I got a product that can help them. Why don't we work together? Hey, tell me more about it. Then now you move to the second level. So now you got to have a second.
I feel these days I'm running so behind on time. Yeah, you were telling me like time, but like I didn't understand.
All right, listen, I'm going to let you go because you got to get to work. So any other question? Because I had quite a few things here, but I'll just send it to you.
Oh, no. I was just saying that I agree with you. You know, this week my daughter was sick, so like I think I couldn't be as productive as like.
That's more important. That's more important. But like I said, start offloading things to other people. You should just be focusing on the main thing. And if you got people that are helping you.
Marketing. So the product is already there. That's awesome. So the marketing. And so the only marketing I do is through me pitching to those 5 user groups or through getting the product in the hands of people. I understand that. So for that, I'm waiting for the package from China. I ordered 100 more mounts so I could distribute it along 100 more, people who are interested in working with us, like fan people. So yeah, I realize I'm short on money. So my program is going to be, just get the product to musicians and bloggers who can help us to sell more, because it's so inexpensive to manufacture.
Yeah, but the main thing is you got to get out there and get people to start and figure out like who is the right. Because if you focus on the wrong market, then you could end up wasting a lot of time. So it's very important for you to start narrowing down on which market you're going to start with. Here's the thing. Let me just tell you, everybody's not going to be for this product. You got to pick out the low-hanging fruit here first.
So that would be guitar players for sure, guitar players. And so for that, I think I have covered Russia. So Russian bloggers, my coaches. So as they expecting, I send them the mounts, and they'll be happy to get me couple advertisement videos. Or maybe even for free. Like, if the product is good, if they really like the product, I think that they'll be like, we'll just do the excited video.
Right. But liking the product is one thing. Buying the product is something else. People can say I like it, but they got to buy it. That's when you know they really like it. It's like, I'll give you an example. I give a talk, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody says they like the talk, but they never do anything. They don't come to me. Only one person out of a whole group will ever do anything. So be careful. They can say they like the product. The question is, then let them buy it right away. How much would you pay for it? Can you buy it? Can you help me? So here's the thing. If somebody says they like the product,
mm-hmm.
Hey, Eugene, this product is great. The question you should ask them is, can you help me sell this product? Can you help me, not get the message out, but how can they help you? How can you help me? That's the question you should ask everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to ask that question. You have to do it. How can you help me either get the message out or sell this product? Because I need to get this product in people's hands. How can you help me? That's what you should have. That message you should have. So let's say if I tell you, hey, Eugene, I like this product. You should say, Jay, how could you help me get this product into people's hands?
Mm-hmm.
You got to ask that. Because I think this product is really good. So there are two things. The number one thing that you need to be able to do, and this for success, is ask. But you got to ask with a purpose, and then you have to ask with purpose after you've done some research. So with Tony Robbins, you can ask. There's a purpose there, and you've done research. So you see you did all three things. So the scenario we created for Tony Robbins is an ask. Why can you ask? Because you should ask. You are asking with a purpose. You're trying to feed. Feeding is something that resonates with him. And then you have done your research. You found out that the hot button, the charity that he spends most of his time is to feed the people all over the world. So you ask with a purpose, and you ask with a purpose after you've done research. Then you have to ask. And if you don't do that, then you're just leaving opportunities on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody says, hey, Eugene, I like this product, your next question should be, so let's say I did that to you. Hey, Eugene, I really like Stampaio.
How can you get to the hands of others? Because it's really important for us to scale.
Yeah. So Jay, how can you help me? Jay, can you help me? No, Jay, can you help me? You like this product? Can you help me? How can you help me get this word out and get this product into the hands of other people? Think about it and let me know.
Maybe.
No. Have you done that so far with anybody?
That just like you talking it this way? No, I haven't, but I'm loving it.
You got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to do it a few times. The first time is not going to be smooth, but it's going to get much smoother as you do it more and more.
Mm-hmm. It's like
remember, you are the top salesman for this product.
It's almost like network marketing. I have to do.
You have to do everything. You're the entrepreneur. Remember, you signed up for this. Okay.
I love it, and I love it.
You signed up to be an entrepreneur. Nobody forced you into this. So everything you have to love, okay? You have to be the CTO, you're the CEO, you're the CMO. Then at some point when money starts coming in, you'll be the CFO. And then as the company grows, then you can hire for those positions. But right now, you are CEOX, CXX. You're CXX, okay? You have to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the chief sales officer, chief marketing officer, chief technical officer, chief operating officer, everything. That's you.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody says something, just say, hey, can you help me out? Give them the card. You have your cards and everything, right? Don't leave without the card. And give them the card, get their information, and follow up and saying, hey, any word on how you can help me out? Because I'm really trying to get this product out. And doesn't matter. Anybody out there, they got to know about your product, because you never know who they know. Because people don't advertise who they know. Like, for example, I have one of my dad's friend. He's a relative. He was the district attorney out of the New York office, the Southern District office.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big position. Of course, he got fired by Trump, but he's now on CNN. His relative is somebody I know.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody always knows somebody, okay? Mm-hmm. All these people that are famous, Tony Robbins has relatives all over the world. Somebody knows Tony Robbins that Tony Robbins can never say no to because they're just related to him.
Mm-hmm.
So always remember that the person likely to meet is not going to be the one that's going to help you. It's the one that you know that can help you. So get people excited and get them to help you.
Jay, what do you think about international expansion? So I do have Russia kind of covered. I'm thinking I do have America kind of covered just because we are here. I was thinking Spanish world is huge. That girl that used to work for Viuga Mexico in my first company, she's from Hermosillo. She's like she knows musician. Her brother is musician. I'm thinking maybe I should just reach out to her and see how she's doing. Maybe she can help me to share the product in Mexico.
Yeah, I would say you're going to Russia. That's good. Get as many people. I think you'll find out a lot from Russia, but I think this product is kind of interesting because you got people, you're targeting two markets. That's why I want you to come up and start picking out the one area you really want to focus on. Because if you're all over the map, then you're not going to be that effective, okay?
But the only part that we have to be effective would be logistics, and it all would be, one big package shipped from one country to another, and from there it could be a bunch of separate packages shipped through the country. So I mean, I don't view it as complicated. It's just like multiple languages to support.
No, not that. I'm talking about market. Like who are the main target? Are you targeting? Because you haven't yet decided. Is your main? Because remember, you can't. Your marketing budget is going to be limited. Your energy is going to be limited.
Understood.
And you need to figure out where is the one. Who are the real? Okay, here's the thing. Who's likely to buy your product is the one you focus on.
No, you're definitely right. We will find out really soon. Google Analytics.
Because let's say there are musicians who like the product, but they're not the ones who are ever going to buy it because they're very picky, and also you don't want to spend too much time with every musician that's going to use this product. You have to teach them how to use it. You just don't have that kind of bandwidth. So see the low-hanging fruit that's going to just push this product out, and people will just buy it. They just get it. That's why the marketing becomes very important, that if it's easy to use, you can show them and they can start using it right away. And then you can target just about anybody at that point.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that for sure. Thursday, this week have been really theoretic to me. Okay. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, I will send you the notes. I had that thing on motivation, but then we ended up. That's what I was afraid of. That, but that's okay. I think what we discussed was more important because that's directly tied to. I keep this other thing instead in case we ran out of things to talk about. But right now we could go on for an hour talking about some of the things. But I think at this point you need to get back to work, and I'll look at this storyboard. So here are the things that we have to do. I will send you these questions, like 5 questions. And then, and some of it you can even make up if you think you have a better question that you want to answer. Okay, I'll come up with the 5 questions, and then you can say, I have a better question that I want to include. So this is sort of like a way for you to start saying that I did an interview with this blogger. Okay, me. Okay, and then I'll post that as soon as you get it to me. And if you have a logo or something you want to use, then send it to me. I can even use that Stampio logo if you have that officially done yet. And in the meantime, I want you to practice the pitches that you have. And then I think I'll come up with more ideas. At this point, yeah, and I'll send you email. I'll focus on the storyboard concept, and I'll update I'll make some comments on the website as I think about it. So I'll focus on going through that book storyboard and come up with the ideas, take some ideas from that, and give you some ideas on to consider for the website. I have all the things there, but some of the wordage I might change it, and then you can just edit it and see what you think.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
All right.
I really appreciate you being in my life. Thank you for being here.
All right, Eugene, you take care. We'll get this thing going. I think that's what I'm saying. You got to focus on the part that you can add. Don't do things that are not where you can add value, because that's a waste of your time. And remember, this is sort of like you got a lot of things up in the air. You're not going to catch everything. You got to pick on which 2 things that are absolutely critical for your success. You can't be doing everything. It's just not possible. Otherwise,
I'm thinking let's meet next Friday then too, because Friday is going to be exactly 1 day before the launch, right? We can double check everything. I mean, it's going to be March 1st, so maybe I could have. I don't know. Hello?
When are you leaving? You're leaving on the 3rd? Let's see.
I'm leaving on the 3rd, but I'm saying I think we could probably meet on 1st. It's going to be next Friday.
Okay, so you want to meet next Thursday or next Friday?
I don't know. Thursday, Friday, I don't know.
All right, why don't you think about it and you let me know. And I will clear out my schedule. I'll see. I'll have to see.
I mean, it is. Boom. What would it be? Let me see. All right. I'll. I don't know. I don't have anything on the Friday, so like if you would be available, I think I should be able to.
You want to do it earlier, or this time actually works out better?
Well, so, honestly, usually this is the last hour in a day when.
So the afternoon are better than morning.
No, that's good. Either is good. Either is good. Let's keep things the same.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll talk next Friday. In the meantime, let me get to this. I have some action items to work on, and I will have things for you so we can review it next Friday.
All right. Yeah, because then I'll leave
and also another thing is I'll see if I can modify the Tony Robbins pitch in the hypothetical, just in case you get in front of Tony Robbins. But even if you don't get in front of Tony Robbins, you really should practice with some of the people that are there.
100%.
Tell them, listen, because you got to somehow. They're not gonna kick you out. So just get a little aggressive, and because that's what Tony would have done.
Exactly. No, I know that. Yes, and my plan is to fly to LA, buy guitar there, buy their that little speaker, and just like go be loud as well at the event. Play in front of the event as well. So like I'll I don't know. I'll try to make as much news as I can.
Yeah, and I think it's like if you got a message, you should definitely push it, because otherwise nothing happens unless you push it. Everybody's lazy at the end of the day. I mean, Tony Robbins, for how aggressive he is a lazy guy. He's not going to meet with everybody, okay? He'll only meet with somebody who really gets his, like how do I devote my time? Oh, this message, something resonates. That's how it works. Like, these people, they just don't have that kind of time. They'll give the time to other. He'll spend time.
I don't know if you had a chance to see the video of me playing this time song.
Okay, send me the link.
Okay.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we got enough here to keep both of us busy. All right?
For sure. Thank you.